Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this video is both the in progress and summary video for my Q4 2020 extended fast. So Sunday was really the first full day of the fast, and for me it wasn't that much different than any other day, since typically I do one meal a day, and that meal is dinner. It's really just like skipping a meal, so not a big deal. To me, doing like a 36-hour fast is a pretty easy putt. So Monday morning, I hit the 36-hour mark, and I was feeling a little bit hungry yesterday, but I was also feeling what I often feel during a fast: very focused, very alert, very efficient. One of the things that I noticed that I had never noticed before is I actually got better at typing. I found I was doing some typing, I was writing some emails, and I was just flying. And I wasn't making any mistakes. I think my backspace key was getting lonely because I hadn't hit it. Very weird. Never noticed that before. But I'd be curious if any of you that have participated in this extended fast, if you also discovered some interesting things as you started getting into that 36-hour period. Things where perhaps you were more alert, more efficient, etc. Anyhow, I definitely felt more hunger, or more appetite at the very least. Let's call it appetite, because I think a lot of it is triggered by boredom for me. Like I said, I was feeling very efficient. I had banged out everything on my to-do list probably by 1 or 2 p.m. yesterday, and then I was like, well, what do I do now? One of the things that I did with my time is I read the book Life in the Fasting Lane by Dr. Jason Fung. I'd actually gotten about a quarter of the way through it on Sunday, but then I had, extra time and focus, so just flew through that on Monday. But then again, I was finding myself bored, and what do I want to do? And I've realized, and I talk about this in my transformation video, I think it might have been the episode 2, boredom is a trigger for me to eat and to drink, honestly. So I found myself in that situation where I needed to find something to do, something to keep me busy. And then in the evening, we had Monday Night Football, which I'm not sure if there's anything that I could have watched that would have been worse for me mentally. Because what we have normally on football games is a whole lot of food commercials, and generally pickup commercials. But, we're at that point where it's just food and political ads. So that wasn't all that cool. That didn't make me happy. So it is now Tuesday. I am about 62 hours into this fast. I did not sleep well last night. Insomnia can be a side effect of fasting, and it definitely hit me last night. Woke up about 2:30 in the morning, and my sleep was pretty intermittent from then on. But 5:30, I decided I would just get up. So I'm feeling a little bit sluggish today. Might need a nap. In fact, a nap would probably be pretty good, because whereas yesterday I was feeling really ambitious, today not so much. I'm going to get this video made. I'm going to get a video on the new Keto Mojo product, their new ketone monitor. I'll get that made. And I'll probably just go play some Xbox or take a nap. Let me cover some pros and cons so far. So on the bright side, I am down 4.3 pounds already. Now, some of that's probably water weight. If you read Life in the Fasting Lane, Dr. Fung talks about how when people come off a fast, they tend to put back on most of the weight. But he said it's a different type of weight. It tends to be muscle rather than fat. And he goes into the explanation on that. So, I don't get real hung up on the weight thing. If I'm looking better, if I'm feeling better, that's the main thing. In terms of blood readings, this morning, my blood glucose was still sitting, I think it was a 93 or 95, which I'm a little bit surprised at. I expected that would be lower. My ketones, however, were up to a 3.6. So I wound up having a glucose ketone index of 1.6, which puts me squarely in that range for autophagy. According to Dr. Sten Ekberg, anywhere between a 1 and a 2 is that autophagy zone. So cool beans on that. So now some of the not so awesome stuff, and this is totally TMI, so brace yourselves on this. First, if you've ever had a colonoscopy, you know the whole process of, cleansing yourself out, down here. And it's the same drill on a fast. You start getting in, hour 48 and beyond, and your bowel movements become not like anything you're used to. On the bright side, it's not like smelly or anything. It's just what's coming out of you is, there's not much. You'll have the sensation like something needs to happen, but you get in there and not a whole lot happens. I will tell you though, that you should, if you sense that you need to fart, do not tempt that. You know the phrase, fortune favors the bold? Not in this case. Perhaps a more appropriate phrase would be, discretion is the better part of valor. If you think that you need to pass gas, my advice would be, go and sit on a toilet. Because I'll bet you a brand new shiny nickel, you're not getting a fart. You're getting a bonus, if you know what I'm saying. All right, so that's it for TMI. I will also say that I am so grateful for the people that posted the link to snake juice. So snake juice is it's a homemade electrolyte cocktail. I'll include the recipe in the description down below, but this is the sort of thing I could see just adding a little lime juice or lemon juice, maybe a drop or two of stevia to, and you've got yourself a keto Gatorade. Now, I don't have any sweeteners or anything in it right now. Interestingly, Dr. Fung says in his book, Life in the Fasting Lane, that you can't even have stevia while on a fast, that it may cause an insulin response. So I decided to err on the side of caution. This is just plain, tastes mildly salty, but like I said, a little citrus in this, plus maybe a little bit of sweetness, and I think you've got yourself a nice everyday keto drink. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to end this fast. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. would be 84 hours. Now, I've done 100 hours before. And it's not so much that I miss food that makes me want to break this fast. It's that I miss cooking. It's something I derive so much pleasure out of cooking, and I haven't been able to do any cooking videos the last handful of days. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays, and sometimes Wednesdays, are the days that I'm in the kitchen making my cooking videos. So there's just like this little piece of me that's missing right now, and I want to cook. I want to cook and then taste what I made. So that would be the driving force behind breaking the fast around 84 hours tomorrow. There's another part of me that said, if I can just make it through the day, make it through dinner, then I'll be sleeping through the next 8 hours of fast, provided I don't have insomnia, and then I'm over 100 hours and I've got a new fasting record. So I don't know. I'm not sure when exactly that this is going to end, but I'll be editing this video along the way, so one way or the other, I can post this video by Thursday of this week. So I'll check back in tomorrow. It is Wednesday. I have not had a calorie now for getting close to 85 hours. This had been roughly the time I was thinking about breaking my fast. However, an interesting development occurred yesterday. I was drinking some black coffee, which I normally don't do. Normally, I have heavy whipping cream and a little flavored stevia in my coffee, but wanted to steer clear of that for the sake of this fast, so I had black coffee. And I thought, wow, this is remarkably mild tasting. In fact, I'm not really getting any bitterness at all from this. I didn't think much of it, but later on in the day, I decided that I would add some apple cider vinegar to my snake juice. So I put about 2 tablespoons into a glass, topped it off with the snake juice. Couldn't taste the apple cider vinegar. This got me curious, so I went and I grabbed a jar of minced garlic, opened it up, put my nose right down by it, took a great big whiff. Nothing. Sliced up a red onion, sniffed that. Again, nothing. So I have no sense of smell and no sense of taste right now. Now, I hope that this is due to a sinus infection. All the symptoms I've had have been sinus infection sort of symptoms. Coincidentally, those are also C19 symptoms. But I haven't had a fever. I haven't had really the majority of the symptoms that go with C19. Plus, it is essentially impossible to get in and get tested around here. I was looking up all the testing sites, and I think the soonest I can get in is like next Monday. So, I don't know how advantageous it is for me to even schedule something that far out. But that's beside the point. The fact is, if I can't smell and I can't taste, I don't feel a lot of motivation to break this fast. I figure let this run until tomorrow morning. That'll take me up to like 108 hours, and then I can break the fast at that point. Now, in terms of measurements, I am deep into ketosis. I am rocking a GKI of 0.4. My blood glucose is at 60 and my ketones are at 6.7. I'm going to continue to monitor those throughout the day. If I find that my blood glucose dips much further, or if I start sort of creeping up on ketoacidosis, then I'm probably going to break this fast. Now, in one of my podcasts from a while back, I referenced a news story that seemed really kind of hokey about a guy who was a flight attendant who got busted for blood alcohol content in excess of whatever the legal limit is, and he blamed it on being on a ketogenic diet. And at the time in that video, I think I had my ketones were running like 1.6, 1.5, something like that. I don't remember specifically, but I tested it on a breathalyzer and it didn't read at all. And I thought what might be interesting is to take a reading on a breathalyzer when I'm up here in this 6.7 range. So I'm going to do that just for fun, entertainment value, not scientific. Got my camera ready to take a picture. I'm rocking a 0.17, so double the legal limit if I were to be driving and got pulled over and got breathalyzed. So maybe it's good that I have no sense of smell, because I would probably be picking up some pretty serious acetone, I think, on my breath right now. Oh dear, that's hot. On the bright side, I think I'm starting to taste this coffee. See you in the next update. So it's about 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday night, and I had to bail on the fast. Not because I was hungry, but because my blood ketones had gotten up to 8.9, and I was starting to get kind of into that little too high range on the ketones. So I broke my fast, first with some beef broth, homemade, and then about a half an hour later, I had some baked cod with some lemon juice on it. And then I also had some of the snake juice with some grape stevia in it. My ketones are already down to 8.3. Blood glucose is up to 77. I didn't test my blood glucose earlier, but earlier in the day it was down at 60. So I exceeded the 84 hours that I had originally planned on. Didn't make it to that 108 that I had thought about doing, but it's all good. I am down 6 pounds, at least I was as of this morning. But weight really isn't the reason I was doing this. It'll be interesting to see over the coming days if I've got any tightening of the skin, here around the abdomen and love handles. That's been something that's kind of been still going on ever since my weight loss. It's just kind of sticking with me, that skin. And my hope is that through autophagy and maybe some more extended fasts, some of that might start to tighten up. I don't really have any other big takeaways aside from, make sure towards the end of your fast, you're testing your blood ketones, you're testing your blood glucose if it's an extended fast like this, because you don't want to go throwing yourself into ketoacidosis. The other recommendation, have a really big to-do list. Have some books that you need to read. Have some TV shows that you need to binge watch on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Have the things you need to keep you busy, keep you occupied, get your attention away from food. At least for me, because like I said, I'm a boredom eater. Having things to do, critically important. And, you're gonna have a couple extra hours in the day where you're not prepping food, you're not eating food, and you're probably gonna have more energy too. So if you do an extended fast, use that as a productive time. Now, I'm not sure I'll be doing any more before the end of the year. If I do, maybe it'll be like first week of December. If I don't do one in December, I will definitely do one in January. So if anybody wants to get in on the big serious keto team fast thing, that's when it'll happen. Thanks for watching.